Okay, I'm going to try and talk, make sure I'm talking loud enough. I know, yesterday I downloaded the one and then people were having problems hearing. So I downloaded another one. And then one of the people said that they could hear the other one better. So I don't know with everybody else if there was a struggle on being able to hear me. But when I listened to the video, it sounded totally normal. And then when I even turn it up, it sounds super loud. So I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, my stuff is messed with like all the time. So I have no idea what the deal is. But anyways, I'll try and talk louder. But Stella's been snoring. And oh man, last night, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I think maybe it's about to be a full moon or something. It was weird. I went out the night before when I was out walking the dogs. The moon was coming through so bright, like somebody turned on a light bulb and it was just shining out there. And so then I had to walk through, and it's weird because you can see this bright light, but you can't tell that the branches are interfering because it's so dark. But they block it out, so I have to walk and walk. It's weird walking around how it's like can disappear. So I walked down to the end of the driveway. Last night I did it again and I went down to see it, but last night it had a companion with it, this other really bright light. And so I was zooming in on both of them. The moon thing gets so bright, like when you zoom in, all you can see is bright light. And it's just so weird. This whole thing is so weird. Like, I should get my telescope out and go look and see what it is I can see, but sometimes, I don't know, it can be such a pain. You gotta take it out there, and then you gotta get it all set up, and then it's so cold. It's, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that or something. But no matter what, I think I would just see a bright light. I don't know. Somebody did something and got it zoomed up, and I don't know if they were using some kind of camera or something, but it looked like kind of a light burst or something. Definitely looked weird. Didn't look like the moon. But anyway, so it has this like companion with it. So I zoomed up to it, to the other bright light, which then you could see it was a circle going around with colors going around and round and round. But in the comments, because I shared the video last night and the night before, and in the comments, a couple of people said that's the drone that's moving it into place, and a drone pulls it around and moves it around. And I was like, it wasn't there the night before, but it looks like it has like a little spaceship. As some people were saying it's Jupiter, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's something pulling it around. There's a lot of people who have caught this footage of this thing pulling it around, and the moon moving real fast. So I don't know. And plus, it depends, I think, on your area and what your illumination schedule is or something. Like, I think we're all under a illumination schedule. So I don't think we all have the same moon and sun and stuff over our areas. And what was that? Because I saw something weird with the sun. I keep seeing all sorts of weird stuff. Oh yeah, because so many people. See, I think this is over on the East Coast. Where they get this total view, and it is uh, some of the pictures I've seen is like the I just said Nibiru. Behind it is huge, so fucking huge. You can see it, and then it's got sunlight coming out from behind the planet that's behind the fake sun. So it's like they put up the fake sun to trick us, because this other big planet or ship or whatever it is interfering. So the other sun, I think, there's another sun and it's behind it. And I think it depends on your angle. And I don't think the map is like what they tell us. I think there's so many lies. But but I definitely think that we don't all have the same setup. And I had just seen, I keep having to clear my throat still, and I've seen videos of a bunch of people saying, you know, what's going on? Why has everybody got these coughs? Why is everybody like this? So, this thing that I keep saying about me having, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people who are having the exact same symptoms as me. So, you know, I think it's some sickness they're dumping on us for sure. So I had just, when I just got out, I didn't sleep good at all last night. It was like I was just awake. It was like total full moon. I just kept laying there and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and trying to relax and trying to, you know, and I think doze off a few times and then have some weird dream and wake up and then just lay there and keep thinking and thinking and thinking. But, you know, I'll still keep the beats on and still stay in a relaxation mode, like put it in relaxation gear. And so I'll sit there in neutral. And but I like being in neutral, you know. It's crazy because I enjoy being alone. Well, yeah. I was gonna say, well, except for Stella, but no, sometimes I like a break from her. I enjoy it when she's laying out on the porch taking her time and I've got my time. Like I really enjoy being alone, and maybe that is a part of my dysfunction from the time when I was a child of having so many people pulling on me all the time. You know, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to rescue this person, rescue that person. And you know, my dad was always needing rescuing. I don't know, it's so weird because even through my whole life, I would try and explain what it was like with my mom, and it's so hard to explain. It's such a small scatter. Like there's tiny little pieces of a relationship or an interaction between us in those years. You know, sometimes it's curious, like what was her perception of that time? I'm sure it was much different than mine. But yeah, there's just like these brief moments of interaction where I even remember interacting with her. Most of them were not good. Most of them were her anger, her judgment, her bitterness, her, I don't know, sometimes it was like she had total disdain for me, like she couldn't stand me. And so, but there was other times, you know, where it was like I was always looking up to her, like she was super cool. She was, and she was way different looking than me, as I was, you know, blonde and really light skin and blue eyes. And she was very ethnic looking and dark skin and this big, dark, thick hair. And she was very petite and really, really beautiful. Like there was pictures. There was a big painting of her and stuff. Like, she was definitely, you know, a trophy for my dad. And but you know, I don't know. I mean, for a woman, she didn't get any time to become herself. You know, she was 16 years old, having a baby with some, you know, grown ass man. So she never developed into her own self. And then I think kind of, you know, she found her peer group as she got older in the church. She found acceptance and love, and she found what she was looking for, and she just went all in on that. And I think that the church is most comfortable if you are underdeveloped and you just are a consumer of Christ. A consumer of Christ. I'm a Christ consumer. So, anyways, it is, but I have like little memories and stuff. Uh, and I wonder, you know, if some of it was me trying to please her or something. But anyways, she would sometimes go in and listen to her music, and she put on her little records and stuff. And I always liked her music. It was like this beach music and stuff. So it was kind of stuff that I'd watch, like Beach Blanket Bingo and stuff like that. And I don't know. That was, my mom was kind of like an Annette Funicelli kind of persona. Like that was the person that she was putting out there, or something was, wholesome. Maybe she was trying to see herself different. Maybe she looked down on herself for how she ended up being pregnant at such a young age and being judged and stuff. That'll mess with your head. It will definitely, be a part of who you are. Just like Crystal was saying in the comments, is like it's wild how so many people consume their identity over their ethnicity. And, this is just standing out to me so much, because even back when I was saying, when I was first talking about, where do they come up with the white people, and that, because, I'm talking about just white people, just white Americans, no culture, no heritage, no substance. Our traditions are built on consumerism. We have fake holidays that are created to give us, what would it be? Like a point of desire, like it's supposed to give us substance. Like we celebrate Christ's birthday. We celebrate, all these this shit. We celebrate love by buying a whole bunch of stuff. We celebrate, we celebrate St. Patrick's by getting drunk off our ass. Like, is there's no substance. There's no fucking real culture. There's no, And so, anyways, when I was talking about that, I've talked about this for a long, long time. I used to talk about this to my mom when I was a kid. I used to say, it stood out to me so much. I talked about it before, even when I was first moved to Southern California, and how going to the parks on the weekend, and how I would see all of these Hispanic families out there, and they were all celebrating, and there just seems to be so much culture and heritage and stuff, and I was always so envious of that. It's like, where's our fucking culture? And I've been even trying to ask my mom, like, what are our traditions? What is our culture? There's just nothing. Well, we got Christmas. Everything was based on this America. And America is the corporation of consumerism. It's just about how empty a shell can we create. And then you have the people, who just go so far into their their color, thinking they're better in some way, by religion or whatever the point may be. And, and it just creates division. But they get so wrapped up in it. But just like I had said before, like, even if you were to go up to a Jewish person and you would say, are you white? So you're a white person or whatever. And they would definitely say, no, I'm Jewish. Like, that right there, I think, should tell us something. So, anyways, but I think all that stuff. But I had just, when I was up for like an hour or something, and I was looking on TikTok, and I saw Duran for a quick second, and it was so loud I couldn't hear him. And he was up on a bridge, and he was looking down in like a storm drain kind of, like a big storm drain kind of thing. And he was using some light and looked down there. I don't know what he was looking for, but he looked a couple times up to the moon. I took a picture of it. It was so strange looking. And I was like, is he saying anything about this? Is he just ignoring it? Which you could barely hear him. But it's so strange looking. It's so strange looking. It's like if the luminary was up in the sky and then somebody put something across it like that, and then it was like these lines, and then this light, and then it was shooting out these rays. It's just like, how can people look at this and not be like, man, the moon looks weird? It's just strange. There's so many people who are seeing it and saying, wow, the moon looks strange. I mean, you've got moon watchers now who are going out and, noticing that it's being pulled quickly, noticing that it is in the wrong place all the time, noticing that it's super bright. all sorts of things. So, anyways, and who knows if we're even on any kind of astrology, or if they just jacked us completely. Like, people get really stuck on all these different astrology things, but it's like, fuck, with everything so jacked up, like, how can we, unless you're going out and seeing exactly where the stars are lining up, I don't know. And, thinking about time and how time is falling apart, it is trippy. Like, this is totally trips me out that this is about to be 2024. Like, I've been doing this all of 2021, all of 2022, all of 2023. This will be my anniversary, the beginning of January. I started the first week of January in 2021 with this channel. And so this will be going into the 4th year. And I cannot, it is, I think, I don't know, for sure 2023 has flown by. But it seems like ever since I started that it's just been speeding up and speeding up. I don't even know what 2024 is going to be like. What a lot of people are saying is going to be completely wild. But I've been saying, I mean, in the events that are coming, we have certain events we have to go through. So there's going to be some wild shit. And and like right now, this homeless crisis thing is serious. Like, it's no shit. It's no joke. I have seen other homeless people now who are talking about this, and I guess family members. And there's a lot of people, like, so many people are putting up videos about their 15, 16-year-old nieces are suddenly going missing, which there's tons and tons. There's been tons of that going on. But when there's like a whole bunch that all of a sudden, it's like, man. But apparently that the people who all disappeared, so it's for sure San Jose, Sacramento, San Francisco, and LA. I mean, that fire that they said was under the bridge, they blamed it on a homeless, what did they call it? Not homeless community, a homeless, camp or something. Which, when I saw the video down there, what that guy was showing, it didn't look like a homeless camp to me. It looked like, because I was trying to pay attention to that. I was looking to see, do I see homeless people? Like, what is this? And there was, I thought it was barrels of fire, what he was showing. I thought maybe he was just showing life under the bridge of a homeless person, and showing the barrels of fire. But then I saw, no, these fires are actual fires that are on set. And that was obvious when he got up and shown it good enough, because when he was walking towards it, I just don't know if this is the guy who started it, but I mean, he was under there when it started, so he should have seen who started it. And so but when he was showing and walking and stuff, it was like so much junk. How could anybody lay and sleep anywhere? It was just like junk. It was like a dump. So, and I didn't see any other people. No other people. No people up concerned about the fire. Nobody screaming, nobody running, nobody doing anything. Just this guy speaking Spanish on his live to people, and I didn't know what he was saying, and then showing the fires. And then when I saw it, I was even like, man, I don't know if that's even a for real thing. And then later in the day is when I started seeing, yeah, it was a for real thing, and they burned that bridge and made a fucking huge ordeal. But they're there to do this all over the place. And yesterday, I guess there's another big explosion in Michigan. There keeps being all these explosions, all sorts of things. The Black Friday thing seemed to be a success, and it seemed to be being approached in a lot of different directions by a lot of different people. But most stores were just empty. And but then there was places where they were doing demonstrations too, and they keep doing it, and they keep thinking they're being so successful. You see these young kids saying, like, this is working, this is working. It's working because you're disrupting your communities, or you're making Starbucks shut down, and so it's all working. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like you're just following the same kind of instigation. Let's cause chaos, let's create negativity, and then I don't know. It's an energy that's being put out, and everybody's going to see. Whatever you're putting out is based on your intention. It will come back to you. So we'll see how it works out for all these people. We'll see how it goes. And there can be some people who have some really good intentions, and they may get some pats on the back for the great work they've done. But I don't know. There's just a lot of weird things about it, and how these people are just so up their own ass. Like, they think they're doing so good by disrupting and shutting down things and causing problems and, wreaking havoc in their communities. And it's like, well, if we want a community based on respect and, you know what, too? You talk about respect. I don't know if I already talked about this on here yesterday, but the Dolly Parton thing, oh my God, not only does she look like some sort of weird kind of freak, like, it looks so fucking weird, but I do not get why you get a woman at that age to take off all her clothes. I mean, I was, I grew up a Dallas Cowboy. I wasn't a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I grew up. That was our team in Dallas, was the Dallas Cowboys. So, everything was Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Dallas this, Dallas that, Cowboys, Cowboys. Like, that was, the thing. And the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were like, when it very first started, they were like the skankiest ones or something. They were like, let's put on the smallest, skimpiest clothes and make them out there like, I don't know, everything is like a fucking stripper show or something. So let's make these cheerleaders, they're the hottest, they're the sexiest. So the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders have a certain reputation way back. I don't know now. I mean, I'm sure there's like a ton of teams who have got girls in skimpy outfits dancing around and stuff, but that's what they were known for. So to me, it's a big, it's a big, it's a big display of something when a 70-some, 80-some-year-old lady comes out wearing a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit. It's like, I had said something about it yesterday, and somebody in the comments said, she's the original drag queen, isn't she? It's like, yeah, she was always really extreme. I always liked her and stuff, and I don't even think this is really her. Like, the person, their face looks so fucking fake. It looks like a fucking mask. It doesn't look real at all. Her body, she had on a skin suit. You could tell it was some sort of skin suit. It wasn't her skin. And then she has on this little outfit, which is like, okay, you look good for, you don't look like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader in it. Like, you get a lot of attention saying, yeah, she looks really good for 77. Like, you've got these fucking people comparing her and Cher. Oh, shallow fucking bullshit in this world, I swear to God. So, I don't know, finding Cher in some skimpy clothes to compare them, like, oh, who wore it best? 77 years old. It's like, oh my God, you guys. Like, fuck, our society, man. Fuck, God damn. Shallow shit, man. And to me, it is, what in the world, woman, to me, I don't know. I mean, I think, some 20-year-olds going around dressed skimpy is when you learn, you don't want to just be seen as, you're putting it out there, the attention you're getting back. You got to see, like, oh, is this really the attention I want? To be dressed skimpy and get attention, that people want to just, throw you down. That's the attention that you want. So it is, and then when you see these adult, grown-ass women coming out and being like, hell yeah, it's attention we want. Yeah, it's like, I want everybody to look at me like sexy, or, I don't know. There's something real messed up on the whole thing to me. A woman, I don't know. There's a phoniness, a fakeness to it. I mean, a bodysuit, a fucking mask, And if that is this person's real face, his clone or robot or whatever the hell, it's like, you don't look human. You look artificial as fuck. And and then to me, they're trying to sell this like, disrespect yourself, don't care about yourself. It's all about just sex and desire, and it is, I don't know, it's just really shallow, and they want to keep our society going that way. And so many people are like, hell yeah, hell yeah. Like, I saw a gay guy, and he was just outraged because people were saying that she shouldn't, that was skanky or something. I don't know. And he, in his opinion, this is empowerment for the female, and hell yeah, she can go out there and rock it. It's like, dude, that is totally disrespecting, and everybody is just jumping on board. Like, even a woman, a great grandma, you got a rich motherfucking great grandma. Like, this chick is fucking rich as fuck, and she's got to go out and market herself as a sex symbol or something. Yeah, it's like, and then the people keep wanting that and wanting that. What are we gonna have? 100-year-olds out there still trying to be like, hey, come on and come and get a little of this action. It's like, what in the fucking weird? And then to think like that's woman empowerment. How is that empowering women? How? Like, just ridiculous. It's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous. And and sometimes I have conversations where it's wild because I talk about certain things all the time. I have a certain attitude about certain things. I've been very clear about certain things that I talk about. And then people will come in and start talking to me about something that I have, taken a strong stand on. I've gone public on my stand. And they'll come in and nobody knows what the fuck I talk about. Seriously. No, nobody who interacts with me in person knows what the fuck I talk about. And so it's trying to argue with me and trying to change my opinion and make me see, I was like, that's a dead end. It's a dead end. You're not going to convince me. You're going to convince me that we need to be, you need to just work on your body and not your mind, not your soul. Just get out there and, flex some abs, some fake tits, and offer yourself and, as an expert at some sex things. And, you're going to find true love. You're going to find everything you're looking for. The love that you don't find in yourself, you'll find it out there. And all the different men who want to bang you, well, yeah, that's a positive approach to life. Don't give yourself any substance. Don't build yourself up. Don't see what you're made of. Just, lose a few pounds, put on a tight dress, go out there and find the guy who, I mean, sometimes there's points in our society that it's just like, what in the holy hell? Like, I mean, fuck. Like, god damn. I don't know what it's going to take for the world to even be ready to listen to people like me. Because you got to take responsibility for yourself to listen to people like me. You got to change your attitude. You got to change your perspective. My perspective isn't of this world. My perspective is of a different world. And I don't know. I see people so caught up in this world, just like what, with Crystal, just like what we were saying. They get so caught up in the 3D persona, this persona that they've created. And, on TikTok, there keeps being somebody, and I don't know if it's several different accounts. Oh, my stomach starts growling. If it's several different accounts or whatever, but they're like these, what it was like in the 70s. And so it will show a bunch of film. It's like a lot of little snapshots and videos of what it was like in the 70s. And, like the way we dressed And, uh, her hair, everybody's hair was just long and straight. Unless your hair grew out, then everybody's hair was just natural, though. There was some people who would bleach their hair platinum. My mom had a friend, and she was like, what was that lady's name? I was laughing. Goldie Hawn, which I just saw some pictures of her. And I don't know, some of these people who keep trying to stay younger just start looking so strange. And so she's done a lot of jack up on her face. And so she looks strange now. But back a long time ago, she was a certain look. And so my mom had a friend who looked like that and had the bleached hair, and real short. And, she was definitely cut off from certain parts of herself. She was an ex-stripper who got together with a guy who was one of my dad's business partners. And she was always, like I kind of like the pole to my mom. Like if you had Mrs. Virtue and Mrs. like, let's try it out. Let's try it out. No, that's really wrong. But they were, friends because their husbands were partners. And so, they had a lot of conversations. My mom's even told me some of the stuff they would talk about. So I think they were close, but I'm sure, there's always a certain judgment factor that people will have when they think that they're better than somebody else, even if they don't just blatantly say it. It's an energy, and Christian people carry it a lot. They have it in their back pocket, They've got Jesus, and all these other stupid idiots don't have shit, and they're so judgmental, and they look down on people. And then on top of it, they put half of themselves away. They can't see this part of themselves. They can't understand this part of themselves. They're in denial of this part of themselves. They have to hide this part of themselves. And, it's like, it's such a basic fucking question to me. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What is this place? Why are you here? What are you doing here? It just seems so, like, I don't understand, like, how many people have been birthed into this place and never question, what am I doing here? They don't look for answers. They don't look for, who am I? What am I doing here? What is this place? It's very strange to me. It's like that has been my whole entire life. And it's been, who am I? What am I doing here? Who are these people? Why are they here? What am I having to deal with this? What does this have to do with me? Like, my whole thing has been questioning ever since I was little. And so the people are just mindlessly just, I don't understand it. That just sticks out so much to me, that girl. Like, well, she's listening to this reincarnation thing that now she's kind of like thinking, wow, that kind of makes a little sense. But, it's something that she never would have listened to before, never. And I gotta keep saying, people gotta go out and you gotta go listen to things you wouldn't have thought of. You never thought, never were interested. You gotta go listen. You gotta go on a journey to self. Listen to people you wouldn't listen to, read things that you thought were weird. Like, I don't understand how everybody got so stuck. I know everybody's programmed and stuff, but there's still something beyond that. I was like, to just never go on the search of like, what am I doing here? Who am I? Why do I exist? What is the point of me being here? And what is this place? And what am I supposed to be doing here? Why am I here? It's like, some of us have been out there asking it, and we've been looking for the answers our whole lives, trying to understand what we're doing here, why we're here, why does this happen, why does that happen? And there's reasons. There's a reason why you're here. This place has a point. And it's wild. This is just wild, people's attitude and stuff. And, but so, to me, you are here to understand yourself. Not only just understand yourself, but to discover yourself. You got to look at your whole self. How can you hide from part of yourself? And then especially to use it as in God's name. So God created something that he wants to, a part of it's broken, and they need to be in denial of their brokenness. They need to ignore that part of themselves and just pretend like everything's fine so that they can, worship God or whatever. I feel like my fire is going out. Hold on a second. So cold. And so many times I'm doing this in that 2 hours or whatever, the fire just goes out after I get it all going in the morning, and then it goes back out. It's like, damn it. But anyways, to me, you got to be a seeker of truth, a seeker of trying to understand. And, in the seeking, you've got to see yourself. You got to understand yourself, your whole self. And you got to not be judgmental of yourself, of the experience, of the things that you learn and stuff. Everything, it does make a big difference. The more you step back, and go into observation. Stop being so caught up in the drama and step back and start seeing, start looking, start seeing this place for what it is. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just strange. It's like everybody is satisfied with this superficial not thinking. Just it's weird because it's like everybody goes backwards. Like everything's just backwards. Everything is so upside down. Man, I cannot wait until this fucking shift happens. But, to me, what I was saying, I don't even remember if I finished saying what I was going to say yesterday, because David Wilcox saying about that the solar flash, I don't know where he's got the date of 2025, if it's something out of the Book of One or something, I don't know. I just know we've been talking about the solar flash since 2015, 2016 is when I started hearing about it. And, knowing that we're going to have this solar flash and that we've got all of these coronal mass injections going all the time. And so it's all going. The sun is interacting with our energy, which also, is that another thing they're trying to block out. And so I don't know, the whole thing, but I know that so to me, what I think, my stomach is growling. So the solar flash thing is ahead of us, somewhere ahead of us. And you know what I've seen too? I've seen way more than just one video of this and way more than just one group. There's several, and I don't know if I finished saying about the homeless people, because there's people who keep calling their phones, calling family members that aren't homeless, trying to get a hold of their homeless family members. And the phones are going to voicemail, or they just ring and ring and ring, or they just completely have disappeared. Like nothing happens on this. So all of these phone numbers, all these people keep looking for their family members. Their family members have disappeared. And there was also some other people who had seen signs of these black vans and these white vans that will pull up to some homeless people, and they'll offer them a place to go, a place to stay. And then the people just disappear. And, they need a lot of ORGANs. That's all I can tell you. They need a lot of them, like more than we could ever imagine. I even was thinking, because I saw a video of somebody they were getting married, and they said that they invited this person to come to their wedding that was their person they're marrying's child's heart recipient. And so he wanted his wife to have her son's heart at her wedding. And so it was, but when I saw that, the little thing said that, I didn't watch the whole video because I'm just like anti this whole thing. But I was like, I wonder if they are even really doing anything, if they're even taking these things out and putting other people's in, or if they're just, doing something else. I don't know. Like, there's some weird shit to this whole thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if people, they still got their same hearts and they think they got a different one because they went in and did some stuff. Like, but they're really taking those parts to feed somebody. Somebody's getting fed. Somebody's, you take this many parts for nothing. It's extreme. And to take all these ones from even homeless people, like, because they're not just turning them into food. And what was that? Because I saw something about, it's disgusting. So there's these videos of this new marketing thing, and they're doing it. They're already doing this, and they put people into these machines, and then they turn them into like a gel or water or something. And in some cases, they're putting them back into the sewage system, so it comes into our drinking water and shower water and stuff. So we're showering and drinking people who have passed on. It's not funny, but it's so gross. So anyways, so they have the gelling or liquefying these bodies and putting them into the water. And then they're also putting them in, they're spraying them onto the food. But then it showed that they also take the bones. Like what did I say the other day when I said that video that I saw? And this, I mean, he wasn't a farmer. I mean, he's a farmer, but not like a farmer. But the guy who was out cutting up the whole long skeletons and cutting them into manageable pieces, and all of these vultures that were around him, they were the hugest fucking birds. I'm not even kidding how huge these things were. And standing up next to him, and they were like in a pen. And I was like, fuck. I mean, that's what, a lot of the pig farms and stuff that they could find, like, oh yeah, we can kill somebody, throw the remains out there, and the pigs just eat it up. And then it's like they get these animals to pick these bones clean. Like, they take out the parts they want. They take out the organs and then sell those. And then they grind the bones up. And so at this place where they're liquefying people, they take the bones and then they grind them up into a powder, which it shows that. It shows it goes into a powder that they call calcium phosphate or something. And then they use this calcium phosphate they probably put it in our goddamn fucking vitamins and shit. But they put it into different foods and stuff. Just like what I was saying. They use that shit to make like the stuff that holds things together. It's like a binding agent or something that they create. So I knew that they were doing something with the bones. I knew that like, could you imagine how many bones? And even down there in the catacombs with all those skeletons, is that what that place was? In Jeepers Creepers, they sure make like that. Like, there's just these catacombs of bones because of the people who have to eat the people. And so then it's like a fucking catacombs of bones. And so I've seen several of these videos. And so this isn't just one group or one person. So I saw one the other day, and it was a guy, and he had found some sort of tunnels, and he was down under in the tunnels, and he was going through showing all of this stuff in these tunnels. And it was like a whole world right underneath us. And he was saying that he found all these World War II tunnels that they used during World War II. Okay. World War II was like being fought, not here. Like if you found all those tunnels in like England or something, and then you said, well, I found World War II tunnels, then it'd be like, oh, so they had to go down there because people had to go underground and stuff because they were being bombed all the time and buildings were being blown up and shit. So yeah, that would make sense. But over here, so, and this guy said that the tunnels go all the way from Florida to Washington State, from San Diego to New York. Like it's a complete underground system below us, which any of us people who were, you know, the conspiracy theorists and stuff, we have known about the tunnels, and they were called DUMBs or something like that. And you know, like the first time any of those movies, like Men in Black, what was that, Stranger, Strange, whatever that new show is on Netflix, Strange something, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. And if they have to go way down in the elevator, like there's lots of us who knew that that wasn't just made up shit, that there was labs and shit below us, that they don't just put that stuff in movies, that it's real. And so, you know, we knew that there was stuff going on down there, secret labs and stuff. Like I'm sure Area 51, it may look like it's like this big on the surface, but it's all underground. And anybody who's been involved with any kind of ufology or conspiracy or community should have heard about the different stuff that has happened in tunnels and stuff. But so this guy, and you know, one thing too is how it's been being revealed that we have all of these cities underneath the cities. And so under Seattle, when you go into the Seattle underground tour, where there was the Seattle before they built the other Seattle that supposedly was a fire. So you have all these places that they say there was these big fires, and then they have these cities underground. I don't even know why they started showing some of these. I guess people found them, and then they'd have to say. So they started saying, you know, there's these cities underground, but really they were building on top of cities to build their new habitat. They were creating a habitat. So there's these cities below cities, and then there's this whole tunneling system, and then there's also a train system under there where they can go from, I think they can go from like New York to Japan in 1 minute, and they can get there. Like they travel around in these tunnels and stuff down there. And so these ones that this guy found that he called World War II ones, that it does look like just underground. It's weird too, because on some parts, like you're walking and you'll come into buildings, and then you'll go through all this stuff where it's like all these things that you would think were the generators running this place. So there's all these like, I don't know what they would be called, like the bottom of the ship where all of the stuff that keeps the ship running, like there's parts that have rooms like that, like I'm seeing like at a school where the janitor has to go down into the room, like where it's got all of the stuff running. Like they'll show that kind of stuff in scary movies, but I don't know if there's really places like that in buildings, in schools and stuff, but they'll show it. And so there's parts underground that look like that, like just a lot of pipes and big things and stuff. So, you know, I don't know. if it has anything to do with what we have up here, or if it was all just about stuff that was down there. And so I swear to God, this stuff is wacky. So then, so that is like, but it's empty, totally empty. Like this guy's walking all around in it, all underneath. And he's like, it's just, everything's empty. Like it's all cleaned out looking. And so, but he was saying it was World War II tunnels, which I don't understand why we would have World War II tunnels underground. So so now there's some new people who are down there. And I don't know if they're in different states or what. So these people, they were out in I don't know, in the forest or something. Because where it shows them going in, they go in and it's like bars, like an open with a thing on the ground that they lift up. But then it looks like they're in a forest or something. So there's some bold people, man. Like going up, knocking on giants' doors, going into tunnels, and it's like, look, you go down there and run into some reptilians or something. Go down there and run into some creatures. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's wild. People don't have any respect for the supernatural. It just, I don't know. It's like they can't wrap their heads around it or something. I don't know. It's just mind-blowing to me how many people don't have respect for the world. They're just, I don't know, when they're stuck in their own confusion, trying to prove something to themselves, and they don't have any respect for what really is, and they don't even see it, they don't acknowledge it. So anyways, so this group of people, they went down and they found these tunnels that look so similar, like they're all in the same kind of set of tunnels, because these look the same. And when they were going, they found a part where the lights were on down in this giant room, and they said it was a lot of medical stuff. Which, to me, I started thinking, okay, so are these the ones that we've been having getting cleared out through all this? Is this the ones that they were using, and that they were doing all the experiments? They had all these people down there trapped, and now they're kind of open and kind of having it for exploration so that people go down and find it and talk about it, because this is like the soft open, which I had just seen somebody else talking about the disclosure, and that there's a passive disclosure or something, and then there's a explosive disclosure. I can't remember the two words that they used exactly, but this would be more the passive disclosure, that they are releasing information and getting it out there, and then people like me, that we talk about it, and then people who listen to people like me, then they start talking about it, and then it just spreads to where then the people, it's less and less people who don't know anything about stuff. And so the awakening keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. But they're trying to do this, like, soft open. That's what I keep saying. They're trying to do the soft open to eliminate so much of the anger and stuff that is ahead of us when the strong open comes, because there's going to be the strong flipping, where everything turns the other direction, where it's going to be like the lights come on and you feel exposed, where you see the truth. And there's other ways to say too, but you get my drift. So you have people who are going down and finding these, and just it makes more questions, like, what are they? Who was using them? When were they last used? Are they still using them? And then I know that there's way below that. There's more that goes underneath that, which I thought that when they were doing all of these shallow earthquakes, because when they were clearing those tunnels and stuff, there was a lot of shallow earthquakes, because there was earthquakes. And which another big volcano just went in Italy. And There's more floods, more fire. There's just so much chaos going on. And I don't even know. Like the Ireland thing seems to really be wild. So, but France too. Like a lot of these places, it's just like the people have reached their point, and that's the thing is people have got to. They got to get into their own battles, their own places. Like even these people who are trying to fight for the strip, like what's going on in your community? What's going on in your life? You know, there's got to be other stuff that you could be really productive in making changes and stuff. But people don't even want to see at all that the change is you, that you need to change and the world changes. People don't, no, fuck that. Okay. To me, at this point, it's just like, bye. You know, I don't care. I seriously, I'm over it. I'm just like, whatever. Go learn your lessons in some other fucking world then, because this one's going forward, and it's going to move forward with and for the people who are the forward movers, the ones who are an evolution, the ones who are taking responsibility for themselves, moving towards change, taking responsibility, making the world into what they want, and not by doing negative things and causing problems for people and wreaking havoc in the cities and stuff. I mean, the change is going to come from that too, because that's happening, and so it's going to occur. But there's other more positive, productive ways about going about things. But you know, people don't want to do that, and they don't want to stop and think. But that's why the lights have to come on. Confirmation. That's why the lights have to come on, so that they have to stop and think. They have to stop and take a look at themselves and see what they're doing, see who they're behaving, see, you know, what is my motivation? What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Who's running the shop? You know, am I in control of myself, or some other force outside of me in control of me? You got to start looking and seeing and understanding. So, you know, I've seen so I saw the people going down through the forest one. I've seen some other videos of people in those tunnels, and then I saw the other guy, you know, about the World War II. So I've seen several videos of this, of people going down in these underground cities that are below us, and that was in the movie You, too. I'm pretty sure that was what it was called. It was one of Jordan Peele's movies, but no, it was called Us, and it shows like there's a whole world underneath, and he showed it as like our doppelgangers, and like as above so below, like they're and you know, it all depends on perception. Everything is perception, and so it's how you perceive your reality, and how you share and how you translate perception. And so it is, you know, it's an individual thing, your perception. Your perception is yours, it's your own. And so, anyways, so we have all this opening up with these cities, which I think that there was more below, because these ones seem to be so much more closer to the surface than what I thought these people were. But even when they were talking about in 2020, when all of those people were going down, because in New York, when those ships had pulled up, and then in the park, in Central Park, they had put these big tents, and they were going down into the tunnels, and they were trying to bring the people up so that they could take them into these, on the ships and into these tents and do medical stuff on them, trying to save their lives. And as they were bringing them up, it was like changing. It was like the same thing if you go scuba diving and you try and come up too fast and you get the bends. So that was happening to all of these people. So it was like, man, they must be pretty far down there. And then they had never been in light. And there's a lot of things, but what I heard is that said that as they were coming up, that the people started dying and their skin was coming off. All sorts of horrible things was happening to the people. And so the people would be rescuing them, trying to get them out. and the people would be dying in their arms. There'd be like they're melting or something because the atmospheric change was too much for them. So then they had to change and they had to go down. So all these doctors and stuff had to start going down in, and they had to start trying to rescue the people down there, which they couldn't rescue a whole lot of them. Most of them, I think, died. I had seen one footage that was super, super creepy that people kept trying to get to see, and I think this is kind of like a slow open kind of thing, is when these certain things get leaked out, but the being that they were trying to help was total Frankenstein. I mean, that's the shitty thing that they do down there, is they try and put uh, people together with animals and stuff like that. And so, yeah, they make these weird beings. And another weird thing about it is this one, what it looked like. There's also a famous painting. Well, I don't know if it's famous, but I've seen it a million times. But it's at one of these rich people's houses. I don't know. It could be Podesta or something. One of these weirdo people's houses. And it could have been Vanderbilt. Gloria Vanderbilt's house. I don't know. But somebody has a painting with one of these things sitting with a person, like a little kid. It's like this little kid and this thing is sitting next to each other. And the thing in the hospital that I saw, where it seemed like, somebody who was there while they were doing the rescue was trying to get footage, but they couldn't get full footage. But there was parts that was like, oh my God, that looks just like that creature in that movie. Like if they do some splicing of DNA and stuff. And I don't know if this is for real, but it sure seemed for real, is that in some lab that they did some DNA splicing and they put together a white cat and a white rat. And they made these creatures that are half cat and half rat. And after they made them, they just let them go out in the forest. And another thing, too, that really gets me, because this is nonstop with the Humane Society and all these rescue animal things. It is so many videos, and it's so fucking sad. Like, oh my God. There's dogs who have been living in these goddamn shelters for years, the no-kill shelters, and they just stay in there for years and years and years. And it's like, isn't there a more productive way as a society that we could do this? Like, wouldn't it be more productive rather than have it be them locked up in these kennels and stuff, is to just have like domains, areas that there is, like fields or farms or something. Like, I know that there's a lot of people who go and get at farms and do rescues and stuff, but it seems like that there needs to be more of like letting these animals be free. Like, how do you keep these animals imprisoned and then say it's for their own good? Like, why can't... And then you see these other rescues where, these animals have been dumped out somewhere and they're sick, they're hurt, they are malnourished and stuff. But I don't know. It just seems like there's got to be a better way. There's just got to be a better way. Like, this is... I feel like we live in such a dysfunctional society. It just blows my mind. It's just sad. You see this dog and they're like, well, he spent last Christmas and don't make him spend this Christmas alone too. Be his forever family. It's like, man, there's a lot of us who... And then I'll go in and read in the comments too. And so many people... We all live all over the place, and you can't go and just get these animals. You have to have these face-to-face. You have to go in, you have another dog. You have to take your dog in to meet their dog. Like, it's a whole thing. This isn't just like, oh, yeah, I'll help him, like how I was able to get him before he ended up in the shelter. Is, just here, take him. I can't handle him. Here, you take him. And so... I don't know. There's just got to be a better way. And we have so many people who they don't care about themselves. They only care about themselves, but then they don't care about themselves. It's like everybody's trying to fill their cup the wrong way. And so the I don't know. It's heartbreaking to keep seeing these animals. I saw another one yesterday. It was just the cutest one. Of course, it was a mastiff, which melts my heart. And then they get sidetracked all the time because people are scared of them because they're big, and they're so emotional. They're so emotional, and I was glad that one got adopted. But I've seen so many, and I don't. It's just sad, man. And I just feel like we can do better. There's got to be a better way, and we can do better. And we got to think in a direction, not just accept what's not working. We have to try and come up with other ways, figure out ways that we can make something work. If we're overrun by dogs and cats, there's got to be a better way than just, here, we're just going to kill you. We're not going to let you have any life at all. It's like everything that has life has a right to its life. So it's not for us to decide. And so I don't know. It just is, that's a hard thing to see. And just the people's acceptance and not caring, just the selfishness of, it's like the selfishness of the human experience. And that is going to be a big part of this awakening, is people are going to be waking up to their selfishness, their self-centered aspect of self, where, what matters to them is all that matters. And that is going to be a big part of it. And everybody has to, when the lights come on. And so, if I go back to what David Wilcock was saying about the solar flash, which I have been saying for a long time, it seems to me that that's more ahead, that we've got to be more situated. And seeing these tunnels, I even thought, like, I wonder if there will be a point where they'll say, well, we've got all these underground tunnels, we'll all go underground until whatever happens. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird how all these tunnels, and they didn't close them down or anything. And it's weird how the one guy is World War II, and it made me think, so if they're down there, we could go down there if the earth became not sustainable for a while. And there's a whole part of, in Corey Good stuff, that when he was talking to the inner earth people, there's people, and they said that is what happened. There was a part where they had to go underground, and so the earthlings ended up being inner ground people, which I don't know. Maybe that's what we're about to transition to. It's all realms, and we think we're on the surface, but it's realms. So, anyways, we maybe are going to leave the surface. I don't know. It's a curiosity. But so we have this solar flash that's ahead of us somewhere. There's this cataclysmic event. There's already parts of the ice wall breaking off. A big chunk had broke off, and then I guess it was held under the water for 37 years, and it just broke loose, and it's on its way to New York or something. So some of this stuff, can you imagine this giant fucking iceberg just hits into New York? I mean, maybe there's all these people having this wild dreams of some big water thing happening over there. So, and it's so, things are so bad. I mean, some big's got to happen. Something big's got to make the change. The people aren't making the change. So something big's going to come in and do it for them. And so maybe it's this big old iceberg. It's going to come and hit into them, and it's going to cause a tsunami. It's going to cause buildings to fall. Like, fuck, I don't know. And all of these people who were having those dreams, it was really horrible like that. I went underwater and everybody was dead. So it's been in lots of movies, California, New York, and all of their Armageddon movies are always getting slaughtered. So in both of those places, people are real up their own ass. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a Californian. It's like, so, like, big fucking deal. Yeah, you go and you put up with all that traffic and all of that. California is so fucking shallow, which I think probably New York is too, because New York, the people, I was on a live, and they were going around New York, and I was watching for a second, something I was watching that they were showing, but they were talking to somebody, and they said that, oh yeah, well, Yeah, you see famous people. Famous people walk around here all the time, but everybody's in such a hurry. Nobody cares. Nobody pays any attention. Nobody cares what famous person walks by them. Everybody's just got their own things going. Everybody's in a hurry. And in California, too, you see famous people all the time. I've seen tons and tons of famous people. You can be sitting at a dinner table and the famous person is sitting next to you. And, and then there's some place, because in England, too, it's the same thing. Famous people would be next to you. But in England, it seems that they were a lot more respectful of famous people, like they didn't bombard them. But in America, it's different. But in New York, so these people are like, oh, we're all just into our own stuff. We're not paying attention to anybody. We don't give a fuck. So see that attitude of not that you need to stop because a famous person walked by and you need to go and give them your worship or something. But it's just this cut off from everything. I'm the only thing that matters, and we're all in a hurry, and we're all trying to get somewhere. It's like, well, what is this society? And what is it that you accept about this society? Seems unacceptable to me. So in California, too, it's the same thing with people all up their own ass, and it's so shallow. I don't give a fuck. So, I mean, both those places are carrying a very toxic energy. Vegas, there's a lot of places that have a very toxic energy. And so there's going to be some really, really bad things that are going to happen in these places. And so that's up and coming, I mean, that's right on the edge. So so let me think for a sec. Okay, so the solar flashing, so that's up ahead, and that is going to be, to me, it is kind of when things really start, when it really becomes the age of Aquarius after the solar flash. That to me is when the age of Aquarius will really start. And but it is that because this is like the lead in, and this is like the awakening. And so we have all these people who are waking up to all different things. Everything is happening. The universe is doing all this stuff, which it blows my mind how many people are always like, I just saw this person, and they all have really good points, but they're always going outside of themselves. They're always, well, God chose me. God did this. God told me, this Almighty, the Almighty, this one Almighty Spirit up there who has talked to me and chose me and all that stuff. It's like, when are the people going to start understanding this is your higher self? The God that you're worshiping is you. It is your older self. It's your more advanced self. There's not just this one singular God up in the sky running this fucking joint. And it blows my mind how many people seem to just think that way. And tons of tarot readers and stuff, like tons of people who think of themselves as spiritual beings who still worship this Almighty. And I don't get it. But so this girl, I think she's a girl now. Yeah, because she was born a girl, and at 7 years old, she decided she was a boy. She didn't want to be a girl, and she went on all of this stuff and became a boy. And she said that she still felt so unhappy. She still felt nothing felt right. It felt like she changed her body, but nothing, her attitude and stuff didn't change. That's why I keep trying to tell people. This part doesn't matter, and everybody wants to find all their answers. Well, if I snip off my dick, then I'll surely feel better. And then what happens when you don't? And so, because where you feel better is healing your wounds, finding out what's wrong with you and working on it, fixing yourself. That's where you find peace. Not just snipping off parts or adding parts on or changing your hair color or whatever. So, anyways, they said that they had found that they were just as unhappy, and said that really, I think, made them go more inside for their answers, which that's where you always got to go, is inside for your answers. So she went inside for her answers, and then she spoke to the Almighty. God himself spoke to her, told her that she is loved. She had to see that she was loved by the Almighty, in order for her to find peace and start loving herself. So there's a good part of it, like everything has a good part and a bad part, but having to have the Almighty accept you so that you can accept yourself, so that you can see there's a point to this and that there's a journey, a life journey to acceptance. And so that people who are, struggling and hate themselves, then when the Almighty comes in and then they can learn to accept themselves. But the thing is it's you. It's your advanced self. It's your, this character that you are at this point is your, what is that called? Your inner child. It's your outer child, really. You have your inner child, the broken part of you, but you have the outer child. The outer child is this childlike appearance that you've tried to create to make your life happy or something. Like, it's a childlike way of looking at things, and it's very child. It's very, like I've said, it's like primitive, it's young, it's so this aspect of self that is in this game is very like the younger version of yourself. It's the more, just the same way as you become an adult and you can look back at your child self and see, you can look back at once you're healed, you can look back at your broken self and see. So it is the same thing. You have an advanced self. You have your higher self. You have the self that is the higher vibration, the part of yourself that is outside of the game, the part of yourself that you can connect through your heart space. That part that people begin to worship and think it's a god is you. It's you. And and in the universe is an energy. It is an energy that balances itself. It is and there it's not a chaos. The universe isn't chaos. It's defined. It's like an implemented experience. Like there's motion to the madness. Motion to the madness. There's a point to it all, and so okay, let me think. Oh man, I'm getting so many words in my head. My eye all of a sudden felt like a needle went in it. Man, that hurt. Fuck. So anyways, the people need this God character in order to find, I don't know, peace or acceptance or something. So there's a positive side to it. But then there also needs to be a developed side to it where you understand who you are, what your role is. You are your own God. There is not a God above you. There's not a God that is above you. There's, and the hierarchy isn't even like what people think. Like, you have all of your ancestors, your dead relatives, all these people that are attached to you, that you come from. They're around you. They're around you. They're cheering you on and giving you, props. Ones that are not incarnated, ones that are in soul form, that have left incarnation. Like, our dead life is our real life. They're really living their real life, and they are really choosing to come and cheer you on. Like, that's how, the heavens are. You get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And so you have all of these spirits that are there with you all the time. A room can look empty, and it's not empty. It only looks empty to you because you can't see. The rooms are never empty. You've always got people around you. All you got to do is think of somebody and they're right there. They come right to you instantly. So you are surrounded by other spirits and souls all the time. So you have people talking to you all the time. And I am seeing more people are starting to, get the idea that your brain is, like I've said, it's a receiver, it's a processor. And there's a lot of shit going on out here, a lot of people talking, a lot of energies trying to stay alive, feeding off of you. Like there's a lot in the spiritual world. Once you move out of this three-dimensional concept of yourself and you move into the into the spiritual concept of self, it's very, it's very, it's very lively. There's a lot going on. It should entertain you, and you shouldn't be bored. So, in the spiritual side of it, and then you start to understand yourself and what you're doing here, and these people are cheering you on to help you through the game, to help you advance. And so, you have people who take their time and energy out of love to be there for you. And then you have the universal energy, and you have, that's, your destiny. That's the ride that you're on. And it is, and like I said, there's like templates and stuff. You come in and you play out roles in templates. And so then you have the people, the watchers. You have all of these other beings who are witnessing and watching and learning from our experiences. Yesterday, I even got this vision of, it's like we are the stadium, like for all of the watchers. This really cool image that just came on too, of like this angelic big creature thing looking down, because that is what it's like. We are the game. It's like the same thing as if we found an ant pile and we kicked into it and then we watched what happened with all the ants. It's like the same thing. We're that stadium, we're that anthill for these beings that are watching. And that doesn't mean that when you're outside of your body that they are, you go up and watch with them. You go up and sit and watch with them. Like, it's not like they are so far beyond. But there is ones that are so advanced that do make up, like to me, these 13 oversouls or something, which is so strange how there's the 13 original families, which I just saw somebody doing a breakdown on that. And they were talking about one of the biggest, richest families in America that is a 13 original. Orsini, I think is one of the names, where it's like, but the one over here is like Cooper or something. And, or Collins. It's like Cooper or Collins or something. And then that name will go back to, like Collins, the colonizers. But they all have a certain, they're out to control the habitat. So they get like their area to control. And so they get they own the corporations. They own all this stuff. It's all, ran by these certain people. They use other people to do the running, but there's certain people that get moved ahead, the people who don't really care about other people who don't have a lot of empathy or compassion. They get used by these people. And that's why this is going to be a big learning experience for so many people who've cut themselves off from compassion and empathy for others and have just focused on self-indulgence. And then when the lights come on, those people are going to be very exposed. And so but to me, so in this situation, what we have going, in the awakening, we have all these people who are waking up in this soft open, and they're leaking all this stuff out, very determined to make sure that this comes and this information comes, and they know that all of us are out here talking about it. That's on purpose. That's to get more and more of us talking about it. And so that is It's like an energy. It's like the 100th monkey. It's like trying to soften the blow for the others. But there's still going to be a big drama when the lights come on. So to me, we have this leading in. And this is still how I see it, no matter all the different things. I keep seeing it this way still. Is that so we have all of this stuff happening. It is waking people up, people waking up at all different levels, and all these things occurring. Then that in all of this energy is the energy is shifting because people are waking up. It's shifting the energy, it's turning things, it's making things more visible, it's making things people more aware. So it's changing the actual dynamics of the experience. And so the all of the people who are awakened and stuff, will soften the blow for when this other thing happens. So there's, I think that there's still going to be these big things like the money thing. I think the money thing is going to be the big thing, and it may be the 27th. Because the debt calculator has a timer going, and there's been a whole bunch of things on it. But I feel like confirmation. So I feel like that it's leading us up to this crash. There's all sorts of things going. You got all these corporations that are trying to sell their stock off cheap, and that's going to crash it more. You got all these billionaires trying to sell their stock off. That's a part of the whole takedown thing. You got, this Black Friday event thing of nobody going shopping. That's going to be another one because they've already come out and said Walmart's really worried. So this is going to be, this big crash that's going to take down all these businesses, all these corporations. It's going to crash the money. It's going to crash all of these corporations, be more unethical practices. There's just so much unethical stuff keeps being exposed. So there's going to be all of this crashing and the money thing crashing, and that's going to fall back on Joe. I just saw somebody sharing a video of Joe going out to speak, I guess. And they were like, is he drunk or something? He's walking out there like he's drunk. And, it's all a show. And one thing, too, is when they share old stuff about Joe, it's like you can really see why they chose this guy to be the one that take it all down. Like, man, this guy was a rotten son of a bitch. But, but whoever's out there playing him, they're doing a great job because you got people all just like so upset. They just can't even believe it. And they're real caught up in this, like, and they really, I mean, there's this one girl, she did a video of her dancing and stuff and how exciting, what her life is going to become after November 2024. It's like, oh my God, this is so wacky. Like how they keep these people just like 2024 is coming, man, it's coming. What about right here, right now? What is it we can do right here, right now? I think that the boycott not shopping, like I've been saying for a fucking long time, stop paying our bills, stop paying these people, stop shopping, stop buying their broken ass shit, and stop being involved, stop going to their doctors, stop going and buying their medicine. We start pulling free, then they crumble because they need us. We don't have to go out and march around and throw things in their windows. We just got to start ignoring them. Let the relationship fall apart. When they've got nothing to hold them up, we're the ones who've been holding them up. So anyways, so the crashing is, the crashing of the economy will lead directly to Joe and Congress because Joe, all the things that they want to say about him and all these other politicians, that they keep bringing up and bringing up. Like there's big things that are going to be exposed about them in this crash. And anybody that they're keeping right there on the main stage, like Nancy, okay, we got shit's going to be coming out on Nancy, especially when they're questioning her about her unethical practices in the market. And she's all like, oh, she's not doing anything wrong. And then you get these people who are coming out and showing how much these people have made, these senators and stuff. Like, they've made millions and billions off of their fucking corrupt practice. But there's nothing going on here. You're not in there just for you. You're not in there to cover up your own crimes. You're there for the people. Yeah, right. And so you got these people who will be exposed as that goes, but that crash is like a domino effect. So each thing will hit into the next thing, and it's going to go super fast. It's going to go boom, 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 boom. Once one thing starts going, it's going to just take them all, and that is going to be very unraveling and overwhelming to the people who are just trying to hold it together or trying to hold it on. I mean, there was people who were still going out shopping yesterday. We're like, this is so weird. There's no real good deals. And there's just no people. Like, man, I saw one lady and she must have just moved to Texas or something. And she's just like, man, this is wild. So in Texas, I guess they're really not into Black Friday. Back where I'm from in Michigan, man, we're all out there. It's like, chick, do you have any awareness what's going on in the world? Like, what in the holy hell? And one of the people I even wrote on there, I said it was being boycotted. And then they wrote back, or somebody wrote back, and they said, oh, really? I usually know about that stuff. I didn't know anything about it. It's like awareness is everything. You need to have your awareness on. So, people just don't realize that they don't. They are consumed by other things that don't matter and distracted. And so many people distracted with their own bullshit and own drama. So but when the dominoes start hitting, it's going to just hit right into the politics. Politics is already, it's like they've already, that's already been surrendered. That's already done. But we're going to just see, I think that there'll be a point where they're going to say all these people are arrested. They just built a new prison just for mainstream media or something. Like they're going to arrest all those people and put them in their own little prison. I guess they can all sit and talk to each other. I don't know. There's going to be so many people are going to be put to, they're going to go meet their maker because of the severity of their crimes. And they think because, they're only thinking about themselves that their crimes weren't that bad. They didn't do that much. Yeah, but your crimes were involved. You were a hand. You played a big part. And that's the part that you're going to have that's going to crash down on you is your associates, the people you were associated with, and what they were doing, what the real crimes were, and you were covering it up. So there's going to be a lot that is going to, it's going to get ugly, and it's going to be a lot of trauma. I mean, there'll probably be some, moms being arrested. And I don't know, do they go before a quantum judge who can go in and read their energy and say, oh no, they can make it in this world. They can do better. They can heal. They learn their lessons. I don't fucking know. I don't know how it's all going to go down. But it's going to be very intense. And it's going to, I think, it could very well be, once they put Trump back in, that's going to cause such a freak out with these people, and that will be a thing. But they've been like a soft open. When you got Rappaport out there saying he's going to vote for him now, it's like the tables are turning. People are seeing like, oh my God, this is what we got. I mean, you got to see the whole party, but it's going to be both parties. It's going to expose that all of these criminals were on both sides. It was just a matter of, the red team or the blue team, but it was the same fucking team. It was just like the skins and shirts. Let's go out and fight each other and make a big show of it. It's just a show. They're all corrupt and just, getting payoffs and shit. So, and just like doctors, they know they're getting payoffs from drug companies. They know that they're pushing drugs just to get that check. So that's corrupt. And then you've taken not a plea, an oath. You've taken an oath to care for people's health. Well, we'll see how that backfires on you. Because I think there's going to be a lot of doctors who are going to meet their maker through this. A lot of doctors, there's going to be nurses, there's going to be people who really, the people are going to be shocked. just like there's all these arrests, these people who are up in high position, which they keep not talking about these arrests. They just still distract you with, some other kind of thing that's going on. But the real stuff going on are these real arrests and stuff. So as, you know, as the dominoes hit and the money crashes, falls on Joe, then that falls on Congress, falls on the judicial, which leads back to Trump and military and all that stuff. Just keeps going and going, which is going to be the takedown of the medical, which I thought all the way back in 2020, I thought it was a total setup, as he said it so many times on air, about what they were putting and stuff. And he said a bunch of stuff. He was saying stuff all the time, and they would change it, and make fun of him if he said anything that made sense. They would turn it into something else, and they, were lying and distracting and stuff. And he couldn't come out and say, hey guys, they're lying, just to let you know. I mean, he tried to tell people. He said it a bunch of times, and nobody listened. So that's why people have to be shown. People have to see for themselves. Just like when people want their information, you've got to go and see for yourself. Seeing is believing. Doing the work, seeing it, and getting there. That's the journey. So seeing is believing. So we have to go through this, this episode, so that people can see, so that they can believe, so that they can wrap their head around it. But he is going to be a part of that taking down of the medical. And there's a new documentary out on, that he's, they've followed through his family lineage, and he's really a blue. And so he's really a Mason, and he's really this, and he's really that. It's like, guys, even in the fucking Bible stories, there was Cain and Abel. There was one that was trying to, even in the Anunnaki, there was one brother that was trying to do good and one brother that was trying to do bad. It's a repeat of the same story. You can come from the same family and be the one who's trying to set the people free. Like, people keep wanting to just go into that story. There's no one. We're we're headed to the camps where it's hopeless. There's nothing that's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. You can't trust anybody. Which it isn't like you're supposed to give your trust. This is about an awakening. This is about you, saving yourself. But there is a universal energy of change that is going to occur. And there is a person playing a part that turns the energy going the other direction. There's the counter, and there's the pole on each thing. So Joe is one and he's the other. And it doesn't matter what his heritage is or whatever. I mean, people act like because you're blue, then automatically, you're a eugenic Zion, it's like, even he had said that when he had been around people, he couldn't believe how bad it was. Like, there's people here like me who were born with morals, who were born with a moral compass, who looked at things differently. We didn't look at it as like, well, jump on, got to get in there and be a part of that. No, we stood back and said, this isn't right. This isn't right. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. And then because we had that attitude, people are like, okay, weirdo. Okay, weirdo, just shut up. Don't talk. You want us to think? You want us to think for ourselves? It's like, well, that would be a good thing. So I know, because I'm one of them that came in with morals and was standing back watching society blow itself up. And so, I believe 100%. It doesn't matter what color somebody is, what affiliation, what culture, whatever. They can still have a fucking heart. They can still be trying to do good. So, I mean, when people keep trying to be like, well, he's this, so therefore, it's like, are you listening to yourself? Do you hear your own biases and your lack of hope, your lack of understanding of the cycles of the universe? And so, anyways, in the cycles, we're switching, we're turning the other direction. It's time for change. This time has ran out. And so the domino effect that will happen. And then once, I believe the money thing is going to really freak a lot of people out, but a lot of the people who have a lot of money that will lose it will affect them in a different way. And a lot of the people who would be the more angry, violent, I mean, they're out looting and stuff because they have no money. So, the crash isn't going to affect them that much. They'll be more standing back laughing. See, now what are you guys going to do? You want to go down to the lewd with us? It's like the great equalizer. Now we're all poor together. So how's it feel? And the people who have saw themselves as being, having it all together and making their whole status based on their pocketbook, then their identity, everything they believed they were, will fall apart, which will put them into an existential crisis. You've based who you are on how much money you have, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Then who are you? I already had that happen when I was a nurse, and all of a sudden that was gone. And I was like, well, who am I? What am I? Like, look, I thought I was this, but now I'm not. So what am I? Who am I? Who are my friends? Where do I belong? It's like you get pushed out of the nest. You get too comfortable in a certain position, and the universe is like, hell to the no, and push you out the nest. And we're in a big period of time where we're all being pushed out of the nest because we're in a time of transition, a time of change. But those are occurrences that will happen in every incarnation throughout your life. And then there's periods of time too when people get so down, you will have a near-death experience. You will freaking be hurt in a car crash, and you'll be in a coma so that your guides and your spirit team can come in and communicate with you to get you back on track. Like, that's all real. And so, it is all about trying to keep you on track of what you're doing. So, in this process of all these people who are spiritually bankrupt, they have no, it's like not even bankrupt. It's like it's not even there. It's like you're talking to people trying to tell them about something that they don't even know is in them. And so so we'll have the huge crisis when the money goes, which is going to start just absolute chaos. There will be people who will be the mid people who will lose a lot. They will get very angry. And so there could be some bank violence that will definitely go on, and a lot of anger and a lot of confusion. And I don't know how long that will go on before that they will introduce the other money thing. Because from what I'm understanding is 2024 is going to be more about the restabilizing. This is the crashing. And then 2024 is going to be the restabilizing. But we're going to have so many people are going to be so angry. But that is the anger. That's the energy that is being pulsated out into the universe that will create the solar flash. And so it is, the time of change. And so all of these things occurring are necessary. Like, we need all of these things because they all fit together to get us to where we're going. So everything has to occur in how it's going. So the money crash, and that's going to set off a whole thing. And then that will set off a whole nother thing with the government. But it's going to be, to me, the big one is going to be the medical. I just feel like that one is going to be where you're going to find the most outrage and the most anger and the most violence. Even just me even saying it, and I can feel this wave over my whole body. I mean, it's like I really feel like that is going to be the part that's going to take down. It's going to be the hardest part for people. And a part of that is realizing, you're not flesh and blood. They made that shit up so that they could keep you sick, so they could use your energy. And so that will be a part of the learning experience through, but that will be a little ways from it. Like, that will take some, some gymnastics to get themselves to that place. But when the medical part crashes and you've got all these people who, have lost family members, and yeah, it's going to be the big one. Yeah, especially people who have lost kids. There's a lot of kids who have lost parents, and there's so much loss. And that is going to me, that is going to be the thing that sends out all of that energy that is going to come back, that is going to just blow shit up. And it's going to be a part of people understanding about the whole thing with souls and stuff. But that is, I think that the dominoes will hit like that. And then, so we've got this to finish up. So let's just say the 27th that they do crash the economy, that the finally say that money's done, even though it's been done, but that they finally, whatever it is, that they complete it. And so then starting December, and that will go into, going into Christmas, going into the biggest consumer holiday of them all. And so, I mean, there's a lot of people who said they didn't go to Black Friday just because they'd have no money. And they would have won it if they had money. But we have so many people who are just so fucking broke and struggling, so they can't go out and keep shopping. Luckily, because we need everybody to stop with the fucking consumerism. So then, so if the money thing ends in 2020, or if this month, at the end of this month, and then we go into December, then it would be going into, a lot of chaos about money, about stores will be closing. So there will be a lack of supplies, because once the corporations start closing down, like they're going to crash. These places are going to close down. Like even these kids who are out there trying to, we're closing down Starbucks. Like we're doing such good stuff in this world. It's like, do you realize though that this stuff is going to be gone? This stuff is going to close down. And then what are you going to do? Like these people, I'm sure these are the same people who fucking drove through the fucking Starbucks. It's kept Starbucks alive the whole fucking time. And now they've turned on them, and they're going to crash them. And it's like people, you got to realize that all this stuff is really going to crash. It's going to be gone. These grocery stores, Walmart, I bet you that they're going to use this, they're going to use this lack of Black Friday to crash some places. There will be some stores that will go under because of this Friday event. And so, well, they'll wait until this week because they still have Cyber Monday. So they still have all the online shopping deals, which they'll probably try and do a bunch of deals to try and draw people in. And everybody's got to just, cut up their cards. And, everybody should be taking what money they have and go and buying silver or gold or some kind of platinum, something that has value, that's value is going to go up. And and silver is such a good one because they are restraining it. They short it in order to drive up their costs. So it's going to be a big flip, and silver is going to skyrocket. So that's the best, to me, that's the best investment. But anyways, so there will be, and then when it crashes, there's going to be people like me who have, put our effort into the crash. We went out and prepared for it. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, we got nothing to worry about now. We're set. And that's going to affect a lot of people too. And some people are going to do really well from this, and other people are everything's going to be lost. But they have to go through the loss. That's the thing. The people have to go through the loss. The loss is what creates the change. So everybody has to go through these losses, and whatever it is. It's loss of loved ones, loss of security, loss of wherever it is that you've come in to experience. It has to do with your soul cycles. It has to do with what you're here to learn and how you're here to wrap up your stuff. So your lessons, your lesson plans and stuff, it all fits together. Not just this life, but multiple lives. And so the crash thing is going to be very hard on some people, but it's going to be really great. It's going to be turning some people's lives immediately. Like, my life will turn around immediately. Once the bank crashes, my life will go completely. I mean, I won't have to worry anything about these people who keep threatening me that they're going to take my house, and they're putting my house up for auction and stuff, which I know that there's tons of people who are going through that. And, you know, that's going to change our lives, because then, you know, the bank can't do shit. You can't come and take something from somebody. They're all crashed. And a lot of them are going to be fucking going before committees and having to explain themselves. So, and, you know, that's going to not turn out, you know, in the best way that it's not going to be good for a lot of people. It's going to be, man, my hair looks funky. It's going to be, you know, not a good situation for a lot of people. So then, so that is going to just wreak so much havoc. And then, so through December, it will be a lot of things crashing and crashing and crashing. Stores, more and more, there not being things and stuff. Then, and see, but we have to have all that turmoil, all that energy has to go, because that's what's going to, I think, bring down the firmament. It's going to change everything, is this anger and this energy is going to be going out from us, and it's going to go up and hit into the sun, which is going to create the solar flash. Because right now it's already going back and forth, and even to the point now where scientists have said that they don't understand these big energy things that are coming in and hitting our planet, that they're catching on some kind of machines or something. And so, because we're in this energy exchange with the universe, and this is the awakening. This is so you can see the truth, so you can understand what's going on here. And so, but in 2024, if it starts being, there's going to go through the part where there's just an anger and a purging out of anger, and people being so sad and depressed. And I would think 2024, because 2023 has been about exposing things and preparing. It's been like setting the table. But now we're going to be, the table's set and the meal's on the table, and we're going to have people flipping the table, flipping chairs, pulling the tablecloths out. Like, we're going to have a wild 2024, I think, because people are going to have their reactions to what that they are, when it's like they're going to see the truth, and then there's going to be an overall reaction or something. And so 2024 will be a lot of the pain and suffering and healing. That is when there's going to be a lot of people starting a healing journey in 2024. I think even through the end of this year, it's going to be, people are just, it's going to reach such a point of loss and in this existential crisis of just confusion. But that sends you inside. So it sends you into yourself when that happens. And that's why it has to happen that way. And so 2024, if we go through all of that pain and suffering and stuff, see, that makes sense to me then for that to create this solar flash in 2025, for the solar flash to go, because then you have people who are more prepared and more ready, because it all has, you have to have your vibration has to be high enough in order to be able to handle the energy on the planet. That's why there's going to be so many people who are going to be leaving the planet, because the energy is going to be too intense. They can't handle it. You have to face yourself. You have to heal. You cannot just keep playing things the way that you used to play them. And that is going to be something that is going to be a hard one for people, but it's going to be, we're going to see a lot of people are going to leave. 2024, I'm sure. There's going to be a lot of people leaving. And right now they're trying to set up this other sickness, and I guess apparently they've got these train cars and stuff. Like, they're ready to just start carting off the dead. They've got these mass graves out in that one place, which I'm sure is the Congo. And then they have, they're going to start this, they want to do that here. And so, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to pass. I don't know how it's all going to fit in together. I don't know But just on a general timeline, see, I think that we'll go through the crash, then we got to go through the pain and the healing, and then the solar flash will come, and that's when this is going to be uh, like, that's when it's going to be, it's weird because like the pole shift is like the lights coming on, but it's like the solar flash is the real change. It's when things really change, when we really go into the new age, into the new existence. But see, we get all this time to work up to prepare so that we can go into it. And so, but to me, that's what the solar flash is going to be about. It's going to be like, you know, a sun flashes out. A lot of people will leave, and a lot of people are going to leave on ships, supposedly. But a lot of people will leave because I think that there's going to be a lot of death here over the next year and a half. And the solar flash thing, I don't know if I see it as much as I think there's going to be a lot of death leading up to the solar flash. I think the solar flash is going to be when it's like the lights, it's like the new show begins. Like this flash goes out, this energy comes in, everybody who can handle the energy absorbs that energy, and the new storyline begins. And that's when we actually will start. But there's going to be these cataclysms and stuff. Like California, like all of this stuff is going to be changing. But it could be, because I thought of this yesterday, it could be when the solar flash happens and the firmament opens up and everything changes in an instant, that's when our our landscape changes. So it's already in the process of changing. But that is kind of like to get us to see, to open our minds that this change is occurring, and to be aware of your circumstance, aware of your environment, because so many people are so cut off from that. And so you have that awareness, because everything is about keying in, beginning to use your awareness. So you have this awareness that is being stimulated. And so then so the awareness being stimulated, so the people beginning to question things and change and look into things and think outside the box. And but then when this but then there's going to be I think there's going to be some some disasters. I think there's going to be a huge disaster in California. I think there's going to be some more disasters probably in Washington State. There's going to be a bunch of disasters over in New York. I think there's going to be some big disasters that are going to happen. A lot of people are going to die. And I think that's for sure going to happen. But then, so our landscape will be continuing to change. We'll be continuing to have to deal with trauma after trauma after trauma, which is a lot. You know, you got to keep yourself going. One thing I had seen yesterday, a guy who was saying that he was having such a hard time to just get through a day. It's so many days he just wants to give up. And I said, you just have to make it through the day. Don't think about, you know, tomorrow and all your problems and what do you got to face and stuff. Just get yourself into the day. Each day, take that day. I just got to make it through today. Just got to make it through today. All I got to do is make it through this day. Don't put it on for all the other days. Stay focused on what you've just got to do in the here and now. Because then when you start going way up there, you can become overwhelmed. And you are feeding an energy that you don't even know. Like I could sit here and go into fear and, oh my God, if they take my house, if I'm wrong about the bills, if this happens, if that happens, oh my God. And you never fucking sleep again because you just are building up a worry. You're creating a reality that doesn't exist. You're creating it to keep yourself in fear, to keep yourself uneasy. And so just get yourself into the mindset of each day. Once your eyes open on that day, you just have to make it through today. That's all you got to do. You don't have to think about tomorrow or any other day ahead of that. Just each day, your eyes open, you've got to just make it through that day. And me saying that to that person, it felt really, they felt like that helped. And so I did another video to say that. But I think it's important because I think people are trying to take on all their problems. They're trying to solve every life issue that they have. And, you of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. Things haven't even happened and you're trying to solve them. You got to let things happen. You got to let things play out. You got to go with the flow. And then you won't feel so overwhelmed. So it's important to not try and take on and, solve every problem. Just focus on getting through the day and, make it manageable. Just like if you have a huge weight loss to lose, make it manageable. Put yourself in like, I'm just going to I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to focus on losing 5 pounds and then, lose that 5 pounds and reevaluate. Do you want to go lose more? Keep things manageable. You don't have to be like, well, I got to lose 150 pounds and that's going to take me, I'm going to calculate. Okay, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to do it. Like, you're going way too into it. And a big, big thing about weight loss is that you are holding on to things. You hold on to the weight. You are doing it. Each person is doing it themselves. You hold on to the weight to protect you in some way. So as you heal and you let go of things, the weight just falls off because you no longer need the protection. But people come at it the wrong way. They come at it through, I'm going to fix the avatar and make my avatar be presentable so that people will like me or something. Then you come at it the wrong way. And then you're trying to fight your body when your body's trying to tell you, no, we've got issues. We're trying to explain it. We're trying to get you to see things. And you're just told to shut the fuck up. And you starve it. You abuse it. You treat it like shit. And then you wonder why, you feel bad. It's like, because you're going about things all wrong. So anyways, but this is all, about the awakening for people to start seeing about how to go about things, how to come at it in a more healthy way. You don't have to fight your body. Your body's trying to tell you something. So listen to your body, get in tune with your body, work together as a team. And, but so anyways, we'll go through all of that turmoil. A lot of people, like some of us have been going through the turmoil, so things will turn and go another direction. For a lot of us, we'll see. But anyways, that's what I'm expecting. And then, but then all of the people who are that way, it's a whole wave of people have to come in and make those changes for themselves. So a whole nother wave is going to come in of people who are distraught and hopeless and helpless and don't know what to do and beat down. And so that starts that whole journey. And this is all these energetic exchanges with the universe that is happening. And that is what is changing our world. So anyways, the people who go through and do their healing and raise their vibration, that is the making of this new age. And so I think that all goes together. But even though there's a lot of people saying that the solar flash is about to happen, and it's going to be the actual pole shift will be the solar flash, I think it's two separate things. I think the pole shift is like a metaphor of everything in our reality turning upside down. But we've been in the upside down. We've been in the underneath. So everything turning right side up, which will be very destabilizing for everybody who was comfortable in the upside down. So we have to go through that period of time of the, and that's the seeing the truth. That's the real exposing the truth, is when the lights come on, when things flip, the pole shift, when things turn the other direction. But to me, it doesn't go as the solar flash will happen and the pole will shift at the same time. I don't think it would go that way, but we'll see. But anyways, when I heard David Wilcock saying that, that's why I was like, I see too. I see it as it's separate, that it's ahead of us, and that is really big. The solar flash thing happening is going to change everything. This stuff happening right now is giving us all opportunity to change, to catch up, to be a part of what's going on. And so, I think it's all this stuff happening is very significant. But, anyways, the pole shift, the changing directions, the turning us from upside down to right side up, that is to me right. We're just right on the verge of it. Like it could happen today, it could happen Monday. I mean, it could be the 27th when the money crashes and everything just flips because the money has such a strong hold on us. Yeah, my nose just with the running. Oh my God, my stomach growling and growling and growling. My throat. Man, I'll be so glad when this shit is fuck. Oh man, yesterday it was fogged up again. Now they have us total sun for like the next week, but total fog. So go out there and I don't know. I just know we're being gassed. I just know it. And anyways, let me think. It was yesterday. The one neighbor, he asked me if I wanted a bunch of logs to do my fence, and so I said, well, it would be helpful if you put them up on your side so Jack can't push through. So he was out there working on that, and I don't know, it was really, all the neighbors were out yesterday doing stuff. People were out Christmas decorating, and people were just out doing stuff. And my one neighbor, Guy, he hasn't been home. I should ask her. So I was like really strange, but I didn't want to be like intrusive, but maybe, I don't know. But I was like, that's strange. It's a 4-day holiday. I mean, usually he comes home every weekend, and now he's not. I don't know. We'll see if he comes home today. Maybe they were making him work. Maybe he went further out of town. I don't know. It's just unusual. And I'm always noticing all the unusual things. But anyways, that was nice that the neighbor came over and helped. And so then I know, that he would talk that one guy down who wouldn't be calling the cops on me again. So I went out and I did put up like these wood things. I thought that's why he probably said it, because it was so ghetto looking. And he said, no, that doesn't bother me. I don't care. And I said, well, it's temporary. It's not going to stay like this. I'm sure he's going to get bigger. He's got to get bored with this. And then plus, I just know I'm not going to, I know I'm not, I just know I have got other adventures awaiting. I have other things awaiting. Like, I just don't think this is my last stop, if you get what I'm saying. So anyways, this to me is a big time of transition, a big time of change. And, I'm expecting big change. I'm expecting big transition. I'm expecting big things to happen. And for me, for my own life. And so, that's my expectation, is where, when you want to call it manifesting or whatever, people manifest their own pain and suffering all the time. All the time. People keep themselves trapped in pain and suffering. They do it to themselves. And then they have no awareness. And then they think it's someone else's fault. No, it's you. It's your attitude. It's how you look at things. That's what keeps you trapped. You've got to open your mind. Open up how you see the world. And everybody's got to take a good, hard look at themselves and see, especially when you've got like the religious people, the spiritual people, all saying ignore the part of yourself that you don't like. Ignore that you have emotions. Ignore that you get angry. Ignore that you get sad. Ignore that all this bullshit. It's like, it makes no sense to me. But anyways, I think that this time coming up, that we're about to really hit into some really big stuff that is going to be, very chaotic. I think there's going to be some really dangerous places for sure that they're going to be, I don't know, scary, especially inner cities and stuff. And, who knows, like, even if you were in an inner city, like, would it be smart to go and find the tunnels? Like, I mean, that. And even with all these homeless people, why are they not down there? In New York, there is some kind of tunnels, something underground where a lot of people, like, you go down there and there's a lot of homeless people. But these ones where I'm seeing where these people are down there walking around, it's like there's rooms, there's all sorts of stuff. Like people could go and take their furniture, go down in these tunnels and stay down there and ride this shit out. That you don't have to stay in places that are really desperate and unsafe. Like if you have awareness and stuff, like look for a place. Like if you can't get out of your city and you're stuck there, maybe worth it. Like, and there's fucking, you're trying to figure out where the fucking tunnels are to lead under hotels all the time. I think that is one of the videos where I had seen some people found some, was going through a hotel, opening some kind of thing and then going down. Like there's all sorts of wacky shit. So, but there's a whole city underneath all the cities. So there's places that people could go and hide and escape and, you know, get away from all of the turmoil. And who knows, maybe we're all going to be ending up going down there for a while. I don't know. But it's still, you would have a place to go that where you would be safe from a lot of stuff. Because there's going to be, fuck, I think there's going to be buildings falling. There's going to be fires. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. It's going to be, you know, intense. But everybody's here for whatever you're here for is what you're here for. Like nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. And some people are going to go out in some dramatic fashions. There's going to be a lot of, it's like, this is going to be like a huge, what are those movies called? That they're always trying to, these blockbuster action movies. Like that is kind of like what this is going to be like. This high power action blockbuster part of the movie where it's going to be intense stuff because it's already going on. Like people, some of us, we can sit here and go like, oh, well, you know, it's no big deal. There's people who are having fucking volcanoes, having earthquakes, having all sorts of, like, not just regular earthquakes that are separating the ground, where they're having to jump across, where things are opening up and things are being swallowed into the ground. So there's a lot of crazy shit happening, even if, you know, we can sit here and say, well, you know, it's not that bad for us. But it's real bad for a lot of people. And those things are meant to happen, even though they are so scary. It's like a lot of people are leaving in a lot of drama. So anyways, but we have a lot of drama still ahead. But I do think that there's not a reason to sit and think like the solar flash is going to happen. Solar flash is going to happen. We're going to all burn up. We're all going to, and nobody's ready for it. Like nobody is ready for it. Like I swear to God. Like if the solar flash happened right now, there wouldn't hardly be anybody who would go forward. Like nobody's ready for it. This 2024, I think, is getting ready for it. I think this is going to be more the preparation that the souls need to get ready for it. And they don't know what they need, but they need to heal. They need to let go of things. They need to let go of the darkness. They need to let go of who they thought they were and become who they want to be. So there's a lot going on. Oh my gosh, I've already been talking two and two. So, okay, no wonder I'm uncomfortable. I'm sitting here squirming around like, oh my gosh, I swear to God. It's wild. It's like, especially when you're trying to realize that you're not flesh and blood. It's like, oh, what it hurts. It's like, I'm always with my guides trying to pull free from these concepts. And but it's challenges. It's challenge. Everything is. We're all being challenged on different levels. It all depends on what you're working on and what you are trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do, and always go inward to figure out what it is you're here to do. Don't get caught up in what others think that you need to do. That's going to be a part of some people's journey of their awakening, to self as a follower, as somebody who just, you know, follows the crowd, does what everybody else does. You know, be a trendsetter, do things different, stand alone, be an individual, be sure of yourself. Don't just do what other people do just because they're doing it. I mean, it's weird. Like, I feel like they're all just jumping off the cliff and then the other people just jump off with them. Well, they're doing it. It's like, just stop. So anyways, I've been talking long enough. Hopefully anybody could hear me. Like, hopefully. I don't know. Because when I go and listen to the video from yesterday, it sounds perfectly the same. But I don't know on everybody's different devices, and then I don't know, sometimes if Stella overpowers me with her snoring. So anyways, if you can't hear this one, let me know and I'll re-download it and see if that makes a difference. But anyways, just, take each day for that day. Just really focus on what you have to do today to just keep yourself going for the day. That's in the here and now. Don't jump ahead and don't worry about everything that's coming, and don't worry about everybody, and just stay focused on your here and now, what you're here and now to do. And so anyways, we'll leave it at that, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.